Afternoon, folks. In today's video, we're talking about the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors and a lot to cover. Mel Kiper Jr. dropped his mock draft. Who does he have the Lions selecting at 17? We have news on Aidan Hutchinson. He's getting up for some rewards, more news, and news for the NFC North. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to roll around on the ground naked with poison ivy, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we took all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Sometimes being a Lions fan, you feel like you can get burnt. Also, take that like button with you. Let that bad boy get rashed up. Let's get into today's Lions news. Our own Aidan Hutchinson is up for 2 rewards after this season. Let's get into it. It says on Thursday, the NFL announced the finalists for their 2025 NFL honors. And Detroit Lions defensive end Aidan Hutchinson is in the running for 2 end-of-the-season awards: Defensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year. Let me go ahead and reframe what it says. On Thursday, Aidan Hutchinson is up for 1 reward: Comeback Player of the Year. Look, why do I say it's really 1 is because Myles Garrett is going to get Defensive Player of the Year. That is a lock. He got the NFL sack, a leader this year. He dominated. It was absolutely stunning to watch. Aidan Hutchinson, though, I do believe will be Comeback Player of the Year after breaking his leg. I predicted he would be it even before the season started because he is a name. He got out of bait, he had breaking a leg, come back, 14.5 sacks, did what he did with the pressures and everything. Obviously, makes sense for him to get that. But he is not going to get Defensive Player of the Year, as he should not get that. Anyways, that is Myles Garrett's reward. So, should Aidan Hutchinson win Comeback Player of the Year? Why for yes and for no? Let's get into the mock draft for Mel Kiper Jr. Who does he have the Lions selecting? Well, he has the Lions taking offensive interior, Olaivavega, Ioane. 6'4", 330-pound guard out of Penn State. That's right, he's going guard here. And what does he say? The reasoning for getting this, he is a massive guard, by the way. Massive. He says that Detroit took a guard, Tate Ratledge, in round 2 of the 2025 draft, but there are still issues on the interior. The Lions were 31st in pass block win rate at 55.5%. With all their skill on offense, that has to be fixed. And while taking a guard in the first round isn't the most exciting pick, Ioane is extremely talented. Jared Goff would appreciate his ability to sustain blocks, and he's even given a sack since 2023. And Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery will love the way he gets to the second level and moves defenders out of the rushing lanes. Look, he is a great player. And I'm not going to lie, he would look great in a Honolulu blue and silver. He would make the offensive line great. But we have bigger needs. And offensive line is a need at tackle, but the interior. You look at what they're going to do. Lions got Mahogany. Miles Frazier will bat it out for left guard. Tate Ratledge will go ahead and be the right guard. And I do 1,000% believe that the Lions are going to pick up a center in free agency. We don't know who yet, but I believe they'll go there. And I think with the 17th pick, they're going to go with a tackle. But he's a great player. But we just can't take a guard there. We have a need at tackle, and especially with a lot of question marks when it comes to Taylor Decker. Like, I would love to have a guard, but we need a tackle. You can't go into the season. And there's speculation right now, the Lions may just cut Taylor Decker if he doesn't want to retire to save, I think it was $17 million and then something post-June, a little over 20. Retirement, different too. So that's what the Lions are worried about. Brad Holmes spoke about before too as well. They like to get a position a year before. To me, the Lions are going to go ahead and take a tackle. And I do got some tackles that I have that the Lions should be looking at. It's just depending if they're going to be there. We all love Francis Mauigoa from Miami. He is the #1 player that I'd have on my list, but I just don't think he's going to be there at 17. He's just too talented. He is a mauler. I could see the Lions trading up to get him. It's just hard for me to believe that this young man would be sitting there at 17. If he is, this is a Penn Sewell situation, folks, where you run up and take him. You could put him at right tackle. You could put Penn Sewell at left tackle. You have your free agent center, whether it be Linderbaum or if the Arizona Cardinals decide to release theirs, and bring him in. Tate Ratledge at right guard, and you battle out for left, and the offensive line is fixed. You know, that's the biggest thing right there. As much as we would all love to have this big buy mauler, and I love guard. I've talked about guard the last couple of drafts, but man, not at 17 because we have to get tackle. That's a priority. Grade Mel Kiper's pick at 17. A, B, C, D, or F. The player is good in my opinion. It's great. Just not because we don't have a tackle right now. Next player that I would like the Lions potentially look at, who I do believe will be there at 17, is Caden Proctor, the interior lineman from the Alabama Crimson Tide. He's a damn good player. I've talked about him multiple times. Right? He's a guy that I would like the Lions to have. Big-bodied again, swing tackle. Put on the either edge. The Lions will be good to go from that aspect. He would be a positive. Another play the Lions could look to get is Spencer Fano, the offensive lineman from Utah. Now, I know a lot of people have him a little bit higher. I have him as my third lineman. He does fit Detroit well, but I just prefer other linemen over him. And it doesn't mean that he's bad at all, or I'd be disappointed if the Lions take him. I'd be perfectly fine because the Lions need to get tackle. It's the biggest thing right now is getting this offensive line fixed. And so I appreciate Mel Kiper's mock draft. And guys, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know, and when it comes to a lot of these individuals, they hear rumors, but they don't really know the team specifically as much as probably we do. But I do appreciate he's going offensive line. Just go to tackle position. I think you'll be a little bit more credible right there in that aspect of this. So let's go ahead and get into some NFC North news, and we got a little to cover here in the NFC North because we need to talk about it. It affects us, and that is a fact. So when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, they have lost the coach of the Miami Dolphins, are finalizing plans to make Jeff Hafley their next head coach here in the gig after the 2 seasons. Green Bay Packers as their defense coordinator. There he turned around a unit that struggled under Joe Barry and produced a defense that's ranked 6th in scoring, 11th in 2025. He's a good coach, too. It affects the Lions in multiple ways. Kelvin Shepard is not going to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, as we know. And we lose a good defensive coach in the NFC North. The Packers' defense was good. Is good. It's been good. It's been a good defense, especially Micah Parsons when they traded for him. That took that defense to the next level. It does affect you. Look at us, right? You lose coordinators, it affects the team. And that is something going forward. And it's going to be interesting. We'll see what Chicago happens, right? Do they lose any coaches? Because now we're going to get to the Minnesota Vikings because that affects the Lions as well. Brian Flores has re-signed an extension with the Minnesota Vikings. Brian has a unique ability to connect with players, understand their skill sets, and put them in positions to maximize their impact on the field. Kevin O'Connell said on the release, the identity of the defense is a reflection of his leadership and preparation on personal level, and I've really valued the relationship that we've built over the last 3 years. The shared trust, alignment, high standards, and continue critical to our success. There's a caveat to this extension, and that is if he doesn't get a head coaching job, i.e. the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're looking at you, Pittsburgh, or any other team. But I got to keep it a buck. It seems like he's going to be there this year because I don't think you would extend him if you believed he was going to get a job this year. It'd kind of look a little bit foolish. So I do think that we're going to be dealing with Brian Flores in 2026. It's not a, and he's a damn good coach, too. He had her number this year. He did. Unless he gets a job with the Pittsburgh Steelers or another opening position. We want him out of the NFC North. Do you want him out of the NFC North unless he was our DC? Right? He could be great for us, but he's bad against us. We don't like seeing that. So that is some NFC North news there. Also, let's talk about Taylor Decker really quick because this is going with the offensive line. Do you guys want Taylor Decker to retire this year or be released? That is what I'm hearing from a lot of people. And the reason is because we're hearing that, in regards to Deck, he didn't play well this year. Well, he did have a shoulder injury. I'm not in the idea of releasing him. If he retires, cool, but releasing just because he had a bad year and I know his shoulder's bad, I just think that could be a mistake. I do think he retires. He spoke to the media. He said he would let the franchise know. And I think if he does retire, if there is a release, it's because they talked it out to help the franchise out. Taylor Decker is a team guy, and I don't see him not being a team guy. But I don't want the Ryans to just straight up release Taylor Decker. If he retires, great. I know he had a down year, but that shoulder, that really made his year down, guys. That shoulder injury really screwed him up. So we'll see. There's going to be a lot of fluctuation. There's going to be a lot of names potentially not on this team this year. Dan Skipper, Taylor Decker, David Montgomery. Hell, Alex Anzalone, even though it seems like maybe he could come back, as Alex says he may on Twitter. We'll see. But give me your thoughts about the latest Lions news. Adios.